For the longest time, I felt like I always needed something new. A new gadget, a better outfit, or the latest must-have would for sure make my life easier, more productive, or more exciting. But over time I realized that no matter how much I bought, that feeling never really went away. But thankfully, there is a way to stop wanting to buy stuff. Not just for a little while, but for good. So here are the simple mindset shifts that help me to stop wanting to buy stuff. First, wait it out. Whenever I feel the urge to buy something, I wait at least 30 days before buying. This time period can also be bigger if the price tag is higher. And by doing this, I avoid impulse purchases and having buyer's remorse. One thing that I realized by not clicking the buy now button is that most of the time the hype of that product disappears, or most commonly, I just forget about it. But if after this cool down period I still want the item, then I'll consider it. I'll check reviews, ask for honest feedback, and do some planning if that item requires to do so. Next, the price tag trick. This was another major mindset shift for me. Every dollar, euro, or pound we spend represents the time we work for that item. When I look at a price tag, I don't just see a number. I see the hours of my life that go into buying that item. And when you consider taxes and inflation, it's often not worth the time. Let's say I get paid $30 per hour, and I come across the latest smartphone. It has an amazing design, a slightly better camera, and everyone seems to have it. The price is $1,200. That means this phone cost me 40 hours of work. Is this upgrade really worth an entire week of my life? By viewing the price in terms of hours worked, you take a step back and make smarter financial decisions. Instead of immediately resorting to buying something, I think, do I really need it? Can I use what I already have? Can I repurpose something? Can I find a cheaper option? Do I have a better use of this money, like for a nice vacation, a safety net, or for investing? Remember that not every problem requires throwing money at it, especially if it's not even a problem. Honestly, if you want to reduce your spendings drastically by only doing one thing on this list, it has to be this one. Number 3, dodge the ad bullets. It feels like every single month there is a new reason to spend money. From New Year's sales to Valentine's Day, Mother's and Father's Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, and even random shopping events like Prime Day. There's always something encouraging us to buy more. And this is exhausting. On average, we are exposed to more than 4,000 ads a day, and they are everywhere. This is crazy to say out loud, but the only time we're not exposed to ads is either when we are in nature or sleeping. So no wonder most of us has a shopping problem. But there are ways around this to at least reduce the amount of ads we are exposed to. Here's how. First, super easy one. You can go to your email account and unsubscribe for every newsletter that is selling you stuff. That is it. Just one simple click. Then you could potentially stop using your phone and computer, but realistically most of us are not willing to do that, myself included. So you can use things like ad blockers and time limit apps on your phone to reduce the time you spend online, especially on social media, and block the ads that show up on your browser. Which, by the way, if you use or know any time limit app or ad blocker that you are happy with, let us know that in the comments so we can help each other out. That would be awesome and highly appreciated. Another easy thing we can do is to reduce our TV consumption. If you still watch TV, make sure you don't leave the TV on when you're not watching or as a background. Because even if you're not paying attention to it, you're still listening to the ads. Also, fashion magazines are basically a catalog of advertisements. By not buying them, you're going to save not only on the magazine money, but also you will focus on your personal taste, not the trends that only last 1 month and are out of style on the next one. Another way is to invest on premium subscriptions. Even though this includes spending money up front, if your impulse shopping is bad, paying a small amount monthly or yearly for an online service that you use regularly and that doesn't have ads might save you a lot of money. If you don't know something exists, you don't feel the need to buy it. If it is something that life-changing, you will eventually hear about it anyways. So trust me on this one. 4. Know your own standards. Instead of letting trends or other people's opinions dictate what I buy, I ask myself why I want something. Is it really for me or am I just being influenced? One major step you can take today is to stop following influencers on social media. We all know social media is a curated collection of only the good, luxurious, and beautiful parts of someone's life. But nowadays, what we see online might not even be real. It could be highly edited, staged, or even AI generated. As humans, we naturally compare ourselves to others. That's how we evolve. But when all we see online is just the best and the most polished version of people's lives, we start comparing it to our own unfiltered reality. This can make us feel behind and trigger impulse spending. We panic and try to catch up by buying the same outfit as a stylish influencer, getting the same camera gear as a filmmaker, or traveling to a trendy destination just because they look cool on Instagram. But things are not always what they seem. Someone might drive an expensive car, but that doesn't mean they are wealthy or happy. They could be drowning in debt or living in an empty apartment without being a minimalist. When we constantly follow what others are doing, whether it is influencers, friends, or society, we risk losing sight of what we actually want and need. I'm not saying we should ignore advice or stop being inspired by others, but at the end of the day, we are the ones who truly know what's best for us. That's why each year I do a reflection of how my year went. I evaluate what I could have done differently, what made me happy and sad. Knowing my standards and my worth really helps me align my purchases with my goals instead of just following what everyone else is doing. Number 5, know your financial goals. If you're watching this video, it means that you're thinking about your finances, and that's a great place to be. But one of the biggest mistakes we tend to make is trying to buy ourselves a better lifestyle. I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy anything nice or spend any money, but make sure that your purchases align with your financial goals as well. And for that to work, you might need to stop and ask yourself, how much am I realistically making, even after taxes? How much do I want to save this year? And write that number down. How much do I want to invest? Or how much can I set apart each month to reach those financial goals? Another thing that helps me is making a pros and cons list. After you control the impulse part comes the what if part. How do you decide if this is actually worth your money or not? When in doubt, I create a pros and cons list about that purchase. And most of the time, the cons list is way longer than the pros. So in that case, it's just not worth buying. The more intentional you are about these decisions, the less likely you are to regret them. 7. Switch to cash. One of the tricks people tend to ignore is how automatic invisible payments have become. Now more than ever, shopping is faster, more convenient, and easier. Avoiding using credit cards in general, especially on things you don't really need, keeps us away from debt. And here's how. Paying something that costs us $100 with a card mentally costs the same as paying something that costs us $1. If you pay in cash and actually see the $100 leave your hands, it will cost you a lot more than to just give a credit card. So next time you will think twice about spending that money. Know what you own or it will own you. When it comes to clothes, when I need to buy something new, I take a look at what I already own. And to help me with this, I created a file with all the clothes I own that I can access anywhere. This way, I can also be more creative with my outfits and make the best out of a small wardrobe. And before buying something new, I can clearly see if I already own something similar, if I can make several outfit combinations with that item, and if that item aligns with my style. Having less stuff in general makes life easier, less overwhelming, and more intentional. By the way, leave me a money bag emoji in the comments so that I know that you got this far. And as a thank you, here is my most effective tip from this list. But before that, if you're enjoying this video so far, it would mean a lot if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more minimalist and saving money content if you haven't already. Okay, number 9, have a hobby. Even though most hobbies require little investment beforehand, having a pastime that you truly enjoy will keep you busy to not fall into the tendinitis trap. I remember when I was in my early 20s, whenever I got paid, the first thing I did was hitting the mall. I didn't even need it or I was looking for anything in particular, but I went anyway. Honestly, I was just bored and I didn't have anything better to do with my time. So I just went there searching for a quick dopamine boost. But just like any dopamine boost, it didn't last very long. Shopping shouldn't be a hobby. Finding an actual hobby, whether it is reading, exercising, learning a new skill, playing a sport, and especially spending time in nature away from all the damn ads and confusion, is the best way to shift your focus away from consumption. And what used to be a numbless pastime, now it's almost an obligation when I actually need to buy something, because I now enjoy spending my time so much more doing basically anything else. Everything we own is part of an inventory we have to manage, and every new purchase is an added responsibility. But we do have the power to not keep adding to it. Now, speaking of ways to stop impulse shopping, I've also made a video talking about how to start a no or a low by year challenge, which personally helped me to save thousands and stop my shopping impulse. Trust me, it is a game changer. So if that interests you too, make sure to watch this video out next. As always, thank you for being here. Remember to stay kind to yourself and to others, and I hope I get to see you on this video right here. Bye everyone.